In the State of Connected Planning report, we talked a lot about the benefits of connected planning and that you need a center of excellence in order to enable and fully realize those benefits. So I wanted to take some time to talk about what is an Anaplan Center of Excellence and how does it enable connected planning. So first, we want to start with the core goal of an Anaplan COE is identifying your key business objectives. What are you trying to accomplish with connected planning and starting there? We start with the business objective and we want to identify what are the goals, what are the outcomes that we're trying to drive as a business. So for example, if you've implemented a sales use case, you might take your business objective being increasing revenue by setting more effective territories. So let's take that example of creating better territories in Anaplan. So the first thing that your Anaplan Center of Excellence needs to do, what is it trying to accomplish, is you need to stabilize your current solution for territory management. We know that Anaplan is a new dynamic platform that you've implemented, often replacing outdated legacy systems that maybe didn't work well, maybe didn't enable scale or flexibility or speed. The job of an Anaplan Center of Excellence is driving stabilization of this new technology. That's at the foundation of what a COE should be doing. Moving on from stabilization, the next thing that your Center of Excellence needs to do is help with connecting people to enable connected planning. When we talk about connected people, we're talking about bringing the right leaders to the table, bringing the right decision makers to the team to make sure that you have all of the insights you need, all of the people together, having the right discussions about achieving your business objective. So in a territory case, that means we're bringing together leaders from sales, sales operations, finance, maybe we're bringing in marketing and HR as well. So the job of a COE here is bringing the right people to the table. The next thing that a COE should be helping with is understanding the future roadmap of how to enable the future steps of connected planning. This roadmap is really where connected planning lies, and this falls squarely within the job of an Anaplan Center of Excellence. Their job is defining that roadmap and making sure that you have all the people that you need, the resources you need to enable that future growth of connected planning. And then the last thing, the fourth thing that an Anaplan Center of Excellence needs to do to enable connected planning is define the ROI. Now, defining this ROI is not just limited to defining ROI of the existence of an Anaplan Center of Excellence. It's also not limited to determining the ROI of Anaplan itself, though it includes all of those things. When we're talking about ROI, we're talking about what is the benefit of achieving this business objective and how does that impact the business? So in our example of territory planning, we might say we expect to see top line growth of 10% in the next year as a result of drawing more effective territories. The Center of Excellence's job, through working with the right people and identifying the roadmap and the right technology, the Center of Excellence's job is helping define what that ROI impact should be. More self-servingly, the job of an Anaplan Center of Excellence is making sure that there's enough resources for the Anaplan team to continue doing their job. So in that way, we see an Anaplan Center of Excellence almost like an insurance policy for your Anaplan implementation. So this is why an Anaplan Center of Excellence exists and what it needs to do. Now let's talk a little bit about how an Anaplan COE accomplishes these goals. We'll start at the bottom, the foundation of what an Anaplan COE should help with, and at the root of everything when it comes to planning solutions, planning systems, is data. You can't effectively achieve your objectives without effective data. An Anaplan Center of Excellence's job is making sure that there's the correct data, that there's clean data, and that there's governance around the data. We need to make sure we're all talking the same language. We don't want to just move siloed planning or mistrust in data into a new tool. The next thing that a Center of Excellence should be owning and be responsible for supporting is production support of your existing models. Production support includes everything from your defect tickets, includes requests for enhancement from your end users, basically any way that your end users are communicating with how they are using current Anaplan models. So a Center of Excellence's job is making sure that there's a place for your end users to go in order to voice those concerns or ask questions or raise defect tickets. Next up, we'll go to model performance and system performance. One of the jobs of an Anaplan Center of Excellence is ensuring a great user experience for production models. So here, what a Center of Excellence is doing is monitoring the current system, making sure that it's working as planned, making sure that it's actually doing what it's supposed to do, and that it's working in a responsive time, that it's moving fast enough, and that end users are happy with how the end models and dashboards are working. So a COE is responsible for ensuring the performance of the production models. From there, we'll move to more of the people side. So when we talk about enabling business objectives, we want to make sure that there are policies in place that support the business planning needs. These policies can be things in Anaplan, so it can be specific business processes, maybe how you've laid out your dashboards, but it's also things that exist outside of Anaplan. Again, tying back to what the business objective is. So what's the process, what's the policy around how can we enable territory planning? How should people request changes either within the system or beyond the system? Again, this is where the connected people come to play here. When we talk about policies, you want to have strong governance, you want to have strong artifacts in place to ensure that people know how they should be going about implementing this business process. Along with that, we want to talk about business process optimization. We don't just want to take the same old business processes that may have been limited by legacy technologies and move them into a new tool. We want to create new optimized business processes that actually enable the objective that the COE is trying to drive towards. So here, a Center of Excellence's job, again, is making sure that we've got the right people at the table to change business processes to take full advantage of the new tool. Moving over to our roadmap side, one of the most critical pieces of ensuring the future use of Anaplan is making sure that your end users actually use Anaplan. So the first thing a COE is responsible for is user adoption. We know that Anaplan can be very addicting to the people who use it, and it can spread very rapidly throughout an organization. So a Center of Excellence's job is making sure that there are no barriers on the way for end users to adopt the system. We also want to make sure that somebody is tracking how users are using the system and making sure that there's robust reporting in place to make sure that that trend line continues to go up as users use the system more in production. Next, from there, after we have people using Anaplan, it's important to make sure that there's a strong culture of connected planning. We know that businesses have always operated in silos, kind of for decades. People have always had their own teams and worked in their own separate organizations, their own individual departments. So one of the things as you're on your connected planning journey is you need to create a culture that breaks those silos. We don't want to just enable connected planning in one part of the organization and not another, or even just within two separate parts of the organization. We need a culture change to say all of the companies should be working together, everybody needs to be on the same team, and everybody needs to use the same processes. So it's the job of a center of excellence to make sure that there's a culture change that fully embraces connected planning. And then if we get to the top end of why a COE exists, again, we're trying to achieve business objectives through your ROI. The first way that you're going to do that through your people is through effective enablement processes. Now that you've made sure your end user are using the system, that there's a culture of connected planning, what you need to do is make sure that everybody knows how to use Anaplan and all of its future potential of what it can do. This isn't just training people how to use your dashboards, it's training people how to use Anaplan, how to model their data, and how to kind of roll up their sleeves and try stuff out on their own. When we talk about enablement can be challenging. We offer lots of support and resources, but here, within a center of excellence, we look to a master Anaplanner to drive enablement within your company. After enablement, the next thing that's going to follow is expansion. People want to use Anaplan for more things now that they know how to use it. Expansion is a critical role of an Anaplan Center of Excellence. The COE's job is to remove any barriers to expansion. So that could be organizationally, it could be culturally, it could be from a budget perspective. Remove any of those barriers and streamline the process so that end users know how to use Anaplan and how to request expansions, request for enhancement, using new use cases within Anaplan. Critical for a center of excellence to enable people to use Anaplan to the fullest. After an Anaplan Center of Excellence has done all of this, which may seem daunting, but it's a very worthwhile exercise, then the Center of Excellence's job is measuring and reporting on the outcomes that it's achieved. So when we're talking about the outcomes that a Center of Excellence should be measuring and driving, we want to tie it through the ROI of the Center of Excellence that's achieving the business objective that you had in mind. So here, a Center of Excellence could be using Anaplan to track performance, things like the number of days in a planning cycle or the revenue generated through more effective territories, but it could also be any of the outcomes that are important to the successful implementation of Anaplan and achieving this business objective. So in total, this is why an Anaplan Center of Excellence needs to exist, driving business objectives, and how it can execute on the connected planning journey and why we recommend that customers set up a strong Center of Excellence in order to enable connected planning.